So this is a tutorial on constructing effective conclusions. As you're working on this paper for Lord of the Flies, as well as other papers that you might be focusing upon during the year, this is a way to create a conclusion. It's not the only way, but I think for many of us, it will be certainly accessible, and it'll end our paper in a good, positive manner. So an effective conclusion can do 5 possible things. 1, you want to restate your thesis. 2, you want to summarize your thoughts in the paper. 3, you want to demonstrate the importance of your ideas. 4, you want to propel your reader to perhaps thinking about your subject in a new light. And finally, of course, it gives you the last word on the subject. The conclusion is the last opportunity for you to drive home your point and ideally leave your reader thinking. So there's an acronym that I think you might be able to use, which is TSS. Thesis, summarize, and the old super so what. So let's talk about each of these. And I also have a sample of a Lord of the Flies essay, which focused on trying to argue that A Stranger Within was a better title than Lord of the Flies. So first thing you want to do, first sentence really, or sentences, you want to make the same point as your thesis or your claim, but you want to use different words or language. So this essay, again, was A Stranger Within is a better title essay. I don't have the thesis for this, but the conclusion really does paraphrase it differently. Through the Lord of the Flies representation of human nature's destructive potential and its demonstration of man's uncontrollable tendency toward malevolent behavior, the current title provides a greater in-depth symbol of the prevalent themes relating to Hobbes' argument of nature causes evil. So again, what this paper probably focused on was the Lord of the Flies and its symbolic nature in the novel, and also how it showed the uncontrollable tendency toward bad behavior, which of course supports Hobbes. The next part is summarize. You want to summarize your arguments by paraphrasing how you prove the thesis. So how did you prove it? If you were thinking of a 3-pronged essay, which is something that you may have done in 9th grade, you would probably focus on those 3 points and probably just say them in different words. In the case of this turning point paper, you want to, in a couple sentences, just summarize how you showed your character's transformation. So in this case, Golding displays how anyone whose self-preservation is threatened will shed innocence and exhibit immoral behavior. The pig's role of epitomizing nature's will to evil traumatizes the boys and helps demonstrate the origins of Golding's purpose for writing the novel. Again, think about how you just prove your point, how you prove the thesis, and then summarize it or paraphrase your arguments, paraphrase your evidence. So you may want to mention something here about maybe before or maybe just the turning point or maybe after. It's very abstract the way I'm speaking here because each paper will be somewhat different. And then finally, so what? Okay, if you're stuck and feel like your conclusion isn't saying anything new or interesting, ask somebody to read it with you. Whenever you make a statement from your conclusion, ask your friend to say so what or why should anybody care, or in fact you can ponder the question yourself. And then the super so what. This is the super so what for this paper on the stranger within. Yes, all people have a stranger within them, but by associating these fears with a real and unavoidable beast, the idea of such a naturally repulsive evil suddenly becomes a very frightening and tangible reality and effectively conveying the purpose behind Lord of the Flies. Another way to do the super so what is to take your paper or your idea and think about its larger implications, the larger ideas. You might want to relate it possibly to a particular motif or maybe a possible theme that Golding might be striving for in the paper. But ideally, I think you want to kind of push out of the paper or move away from the paper so the reader will be left thinking as you try to explain to him or her how your topic, how this transformation, how this change from good to bad, or however your various traits are, how that might be connected to people in general, to the human condition, something of that sort. So, I'm not really grading the conclusion in this particular paper, but for anyone reading it, it does leave some impact. So, give it a try. Don't stress over the conclusion, but see how well you can answer that super so what. And again, going back again, we have that TSS, the thesis restatement, summarize your main points, and then the super so what. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to reading your conclusions for this paper. Have a good night. Bye-bye.